Welcome back, friends, to a tale that will take you on a journey through shadows and light where every twist unravels something unexpected. Imagine a quiet mountain road bathed in the soft hues of dusk, where one man's search for peace leads him straight into a story far more complex and chilling than he could have imagined. What happens when kindness collides with danger? When trust becomes a weapon and innocence is both a shield and a vulnerability. Stay with me, because this is a story you won't soon forget. Let's begin. In the dwindling light of dusk, Carter had taken the mountain road less traveled, seeking solace in the quiet of the wilderness. But his peaceful drive was abruptly halted when he spotted a small figure by the roadside. Approaching cautiously, he found a little girl, alone and seemingly lost. The girl's calm explanation for her presence there sent a chill through Carter, contradicting the serene setting with a story of unexpected peril. As she recounted the events that led her to this lonely road, Carter's face turned pale, the weight of her words sinking in, revealing a tale far more alarming than he could have anticipated. But before we start, smash the like button and make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and hit that notification bell so that you won't miss any new stories. At first, Carter thought that his eyes had to be deceiving him. He knew it is possible that some poor soul was walking all the way up the mountain, almost days away from civilization. Some people were simply that unlucky in life or just that stupid. But only when he got closer did he realize how tiny the person was, until he finally realized that he was dealing with a little girl here. He immediately stopped his car, got out, and ran towards the surprised-looking girl. He needed to know what was going on with the girl, and started asking her loads of questions. The little girl told him that her name was Macy, and that she needed to get to the top of the mountain. Her parents were waiting for her there. When Carter asked her if her parents knew that Macy was coming up the mountain like this alone, she smiled and nodded, yes. Carter could not believe it. How could these parents possibly be so irresponsible? And there had to be more to this story. Having answered his questions, Macy was ready to continue her journey up the mountain. But Carter was not about to let that happen. He knew he needed to take this girl somewhere, and he could take her with him around the mountain or back to the nearest city where he came from, but the girl flat out refused. She would only get in the car with him if he promised to bring her to the top of the mountain. And after some more internal deliberation, Carter felt like he simply had no other choice. He told Macy that he would bring her to the top of the mountain. This would add at least half a day to his journey, and he was very lucky that he had filled up his car with gas just moments ago. During the drive up the mountain, Carter did his very best to get more information out of Macy. It was clear that she was troubled in some way, and sitting in the car with a stranger might be the cause of that. Oh, he tried to make small talk, pointing out a deer that darted across the road, but Macy only nodded, her eyes briefly following the animal before returning to stare out the window. Mile markers passed by, each one making Carter question his decision more and more. He'd get the thought of turning back nagged at him, but the distance they had already covered weighed heavier. "We've come too far to give up now," he muttered under his breath. The mountain's peak was still hidden, shrouded in mist and mystery. With every mile, Carter's onus deepened, and knot in his stomach growing tighter. The forest around them seemed to close in, the trees like silent watchers. Carter pulled up where the road vanished into rough terrain, the car's headlights illuminating a desolate mountaintop. The engine idled for a moment before he turned it off, the silence of the wilderness engulfing them. They both looked around, it finding calling out her name. But Macy seemed to know exactly where she was going, disappearing and reappearing in the moonlight. Macy's figure darted towards an isolated, shadowy shape that loomed ahead, an old house, it seemed. Carter pushed himself to run faster, his breath coming in sharp gasps. But Carter slowed as he neared the house, peering around the corner where Macy had disappeared. He knew he had to find Macy to protect her, even if it meant entering the mysterious house alone. Carter felt a momentary sense of loss, as if Macy had been swallowed by the house itself. Carter circled the house again, searching for any sign of an entrance. The front door was old and looked like it hadn't been opened in years. Standing in front of the door, Carter hesitated. This was it. In with determination, he stepped back and delivered a swift kick. The door groaned under the force before swinging open. He paused, surprised by his own strength and the silence that followed. The door creaked open to an interior that contradicted the house's dilapidated exterior, as the hallway was clean, almost pristine, with dust-free surfaces and polished floors that reflected the little light seeping in. Carter's eyes widened in surprise. This place was taken care of, but by whom? Macy! Carter's voice cut through the silence, bouncing off the walls and filling the empty house. No reply came, just the echo of his own voice, fading into the distance. Just as Carter was about to step further in, a noise from upstairs caught his attention. It was faint but unmistakable, a soft thud like someone moving. His heart raced. Macy was here. She had to be. Ignoring the creeping doubt, he made his way to the staircase, his steps quick and quiet, afraid of alerting whoever else might be inside. The room was pitch black, the only light coming from the hallway behind him. Carter squinted, trying to adjust his eyes to the darkness. He took cautious steps forward, his hands outstretched, feeling for any furniture or walls. Silence enveloped him, thick and unyielding. A loud click echoed as the door swung shut behind him, the sound sharp in the quiet room. His Carter spun around, reaching for the handle, but found it locked. Darkness swallowed him whole, the faint light from the hallway now gone. His heart pounded in his chest, the realization that he was trapped setting in like a heavy stone. "Macy!" Carter shouted, his voice louder now, tinged with desperation. Silence met his calls until a chilly reply came from the darkness. "She's not here," a voice whispered, cold and mocking. Carter froze, the voice unfamiliar and unnerving. And it was clear now, he wasn't alone. His fate, it seemed, was sealed with those words. In the darkness, Carter's mind raced. Could it be Macy's father? What would he want? He called out, hoping to stir a response, to understand their motives. The silence was a clear message. No explanation would be coming. He was alone with his thoughts, the possibilities haunting him. Carter tried again, offering explanations, attempting to reason with his unseen captor. "Soat just wanted to help Macy," he said, his voice steadier now, trying to convey sincerity through the dark. But again, silence was his only reply. Carter's hope dwindled as he realized his phone had no service, cutting off his last link to the outside world. But then, a glimmer of hope. His phone picked up a Wi-Fi signal, locked the screen, taunted, asking for a password. As his last attempt failed, the reality of his situation sank in. Carter W. in darkness without communication. He sat back, defeated by technology and circumstance, the weight of his isolation pressing down on him. The Wisconsin F signal, once a beacon of hope, now felt like a cruel joke. He was trapped with no way out and no one to hear him. Carter's fingers moved tirelessly, trying every combination he could think of to unlock the Wi-Fi. The weight of his situation sank deeper into Carter's mind. No one knew where he was. No one was coming for him. In the darkness, Carter's hands found something unexpected. Provisions, water bottles, canned food, a flashlight, enough to last several days, maybe more. It was clear now someone planned for him to be here a while. Nights, the realization sparked a mix of relief and horror. Just when Carter thought he couldn't bear the silence any longer, a voice shattered it. "I'm sorry," it whispered, barely audible. Carter froze, straining to listen. The voice was familiar, tinged with regret. Someone was there, someone who knew his name. Was it Macy? The possibility of contact, of understanding, flickered in the darkness. "I'm so sorry." Macy's voice quivered through the darkness, her words heavy with guilt. Drank Carter now. aware of the trap, suppressed his anger, choosing strategy over confrontation. "I understand, Macy," he said calmly, hiding his true feelings. "It's a tough situation for us both." As he suggested subtly that having something to do like accessing Wi-Fi might make his captivity bearable, his words were measured, aiming to coax cooperation from Macy without revealing his plan to use the connection as his escape route. There was a pause, a moment where Carter felt Macy might refuse. But then footsteps retreated rapidly. Would she return, and if she did, would it be with the help he needed? The wait ended when Macy's voice, softer now, broke the silence. "Here," she whispered, sliding a piece of paper with the Wi-Fi password under the door. Carter's heart leapt. This was it. The moment Carter connected the Wi-Fi, he wasted no time. He opened his messaging app and started typing, his fingers moving with urgency. He explained his situation and location, sending his message to the author authorities. Soon after, Carter received a reply. "Help is on the way. Stay calm." At read, a surge of relief washed over him, followed by an anxious anticipation. The sound of sirens set off a flurry of activity outside his locked room. Loud commands and the sounds of a struggle filtered through the door. Screams pleased the distinct sound of handcuffs clicking. The police had arrived, and with them, a storm of activity that swept through the house. Carter started yelling, banging on the door with his fists, trying to guide the officers to him. After tense minutes that felt like hours, the door finally swung open, and he was met with the sight of uniformed police. The relief that washed over him was indescribable. He was free. The officers quickly escorted him out of the house, ensuring his safety as they led him outside. They checked on him, asking if he was okay and if he needed medical attention. From the backseat of the car, Carter saw a man and a woman being led to another vehicle in handcuffs. Their heads were down, avoiding the gazes of those around them. The reality of this situation hit him. These were the people responsible for his ordeal. And in a separate car, Carter caught a glimpse of Macy. She was crying, a police officer trying to comfort her. The sight tugged at his heart. The convoy of cars made its way to the police station. Once there, Carter was given a chance to freshen up. Like Carter sat across from the detective who laid out the chilling facts. He had been incredibly lucky to reach out when he did. The detective explained the couple's methodical plan, how they used their own daughter to ensnare unsuspecting Good Samaritans. And hearing the calculated cruelty of the trap, Carter realized the sheer magnitude of his escape. It was a sobering moment, understanding how close he came to a different fate. The revelation hit Carter hard. Make the very people who should have been Maisie's protectors were her exploiters, using their daughter as a lure. They had woven a web of deceit, prying on those who sought to help. The betrayal of such a fundamental trust was shocking. Carter looked at Macy differently now, seeing her not just as a part of the trap, but also as a victim. The detective detailed how Macy's parents had crafted their sinister plan, using her innocence as a weapon against the good-natured. Yet, Carter was not their first victim, but thankfully he had managed to escape their clutches before it was too late. The plan was to kidnap and then demand ransom from the families of those they deceived. A cold-hearted scheme for profit at the expense of human compassion. Just as Carter had been settling into the grim reality, the detective shared that the couple was on the verge of demanding a ransom from his family. This final piece of the puzzle made the danger he had been in all too real. Carter's ordeal could have ended much differently had he not found a way to alert the authorities. The thought chilled him to the bone. For a long time, the police had been on the trail of Macy's parents, aware of their crimes but unable to catch them. Their arrest marked the end of a long, arduous search for the community and the victims. It was a relief, a closure to a series of unfortunate events. With her parents arrested, Macy faced a new reality. She was now alone. The situation weighed heavily on Carter's mind. He saw her not just as a victim of her parents' scheme, but as a child in need of care and support. The complexity of Macy's situation sparked a deep empathy within him, stirring thoughts of how he could help change her life for the better. After much thought, Carter made a life-changing decision. He would step in and offer Macy a chance at a normal, loving family environment by adopting her, so it was no small commitment, but seeing Macy's resilience and considering his own role in her rescue, he felt a unique bond with her. He started the adoption process, hopeful for the future, and the new beginning had represented for both of them.